Indian weather officials say they are verifying data a day after New Delhi recorded a temperature of 52.9 degrees Celsius, the highest ever anywhere in the country. And this comes as most of India's north and western regions grapple with severe heat wave conditions, with Delhi reporting its first heat wave death of the year on Thursday. Priyata Bajbasi has more.
The months of May and June are usually the hottest in North India. But the heat this year has broken all records, putting the lives of millions of people at risk. India's weather department has issued a red alert for large parts of the country's north and northwest regions, including here in capital New Delhi. A red alert implies a very high likelihood of people developing heat-related illnesses like heat strokes, and for urgent steps to be implemented for the care of vulnerable groups like the elderly and children. Weather officials say they are now checking the temperature sensor that recorded a temperature of 52.9 degrees Celsius on Wednesday, the highest ever for India, with a union minister indicating that the record-breaking temperature could be the result of an error. Hospitals in Delhi are already recording a spike in those falling sick because of the heat, especially daily wage labourers working outdoors every day. Delhi reported its first heat-related death this week, a 40-year-old factory worker. The city's officials are now scrambling to implement a heat action plan. Construction workers have been asked to take a paid break from 12 p.m. and 3 p.m. until the mercury drops below the 40 degrees Celsius mark. Plans include sprinkling roads with treated sewage water and using sprinklers from high-rise buildings. But even as the government says this, it is also warning of a possible water crisis in the capital. The local government in Delhi says it is also planning to ration water in the city of 30 million people. It says it's taking a slew of measures such as reducing the supply of water trucks from twice daily to once a day in some residential areas. Last week, Delhi's power demand also touched an all-time high, with the government saying they are making short-term plans to purchase electricity from other states if needed. And Delhi residents say they are already facing the brunt.
गर्मी से तो दिक्कत है, हर जगह दिक्कत ही हो रही है, डिहाइड्रेशन हो रही है, चक्कर आ रहे हैं और काफ़ी हीट स्ट्रोक भी हुआ अभी मेरे को रिसेंटली, तो थोड़ा बहुत अभी बैग में है इलेक्ट्रोलाइट वगैरह लेके घूमना पड़ रहा है, पर वही है, हाँ मजबूरी है, पढ़ाई वगैरह तो वो भी ज़रूरी है ना, तो जाना तो पड़ेगा ही।
मतलब गवर्नमेंट ज़रूर बोलती है कि हम क्लाइमेट फोकस करें, लेकिन ग्राउंड पे इम्प्लीमेंटेशन तो है नहीं।
But climate experts say India's scorching summer has not come out of the blue. In 2022, World Weather Attribution reported that rising global temperatures had made South Asian heat waves 30 times more likely than ever before, and had warned that global warming would increase the frequency of record-breaking temperatures in India. Climate experts have criticized the Indian government's lack of preparedness.
Once we start acknowledging this as a pattern, as a phenomena, something that's supposed to stay, that's something that we have arrived in an era of a climate crisis era, that's when we'll be able to accept the challenge and we'll be able to do the needful for the medium term and long terms.
India is also in the midst of a national election, and some observers say scorching temperatures are responsible to some extent for a lower voter turnout this year. It also prompted India's Election Commission to make additional arrangements, including deploying paramedics at polling stations, which were also equipped with mist machines, shaded waiting areas and cold water dispensers. Even though the election wraps up next week, experts warn India needs to invest in a long-term climate action plan to protect millions impacted by record levels of heat here every year. Priyata Bajbasi, CNA, New Delhi.